Isn't just like we bring in fact, next month, my English classes, we are talking about war, security, and society. It's so coincident that we are talking about that. As you know, war is wasting all resources, but somehow or other, sometimes we have to get rid of certain people. For example, if you are a history student, you know you have to get rid of Hitler, you have to get rid of Stalin, right? And now there are people rumors saying that China should take over Taiwan. And all these are cook up of story. You know why? This one, they want to 玩那个股票。Okay, 把那个股票弄到很低，then 每个人来见。Who benefit? In my opinion, I don't play share, but my layman son tell me that the beneficiary will be goes to the US. They're always cooking up and stirring a lot of problems. They are very good in using this kind of skills because they want to be 龙头老大. I agree that World War II had done a good job, but same thing like in Singapore, we talk about free trade agreements in the globalization world. We talk about why Singapore must coordinate with other people. 小国永远要等大国来帮忙，来求救。So small country like Singapore, we always use a lot of things. The 5M, ready? 孙子兵法. The first one is the management. Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. The second is the manpower, which is the people that you and me. The third is the money. I think we have the money, right? You Singaporean? Singaporean, so you got the EduSave, right? Correct? You see, to be honest, which country in other country give money to students and to people? You see, so this is the money and the material. Now, Singapore is not a big country like China or US or Japan. They have natural resources. So the only material we have is called BRAIN, your brain. 对吗？就是你们，就是我感谢你们来到新加坡。So there is no xenophobia. You know xenophobia, right? You know xenophobia? Can somebody help me? I will ask my assistant teachers. 星辰 spell the word xenophobia to 子英。Xenophobia 就是怕外劳 the foreigners to come to Singapore and take over the jobs and education and funds. So they always say, go back to your country, don't come to Singapore. It's the same thing. We Singaporeans go other countries and being mobbed. Okay, I will never forget when I go to UK and study. The moment I step on the airport at Heathrow Airport with my Indian classmate, I got being sped by a trolley uncle. You know, 你懂Changi Airport 不是有那些 trolley uncle 咯，把那些行李的 trolley. Okay, so he's a 老外, he's a Angmo, and sped on us. I was so shocked. My brother-in-law went to UK and study, also point middle finger at him. Outside a very renowned university. Very sad, But then again, this is part and parcel of life. Why I'm sharing? Because you see, social study is what we are talking about. Whether are you able to adapt the kind of cultures. All right. So now let's go back to the lesson. Later, the two of you got to show. I think only Jia Ling and Jia Ling. Who is your team? Who is your team? Who is your team? Only the Bei Kun and Qiao Xin, they all send in their teamwork homework. Okay, sorry, Ziying, it's not I left you out. You're not important, no, because they are with me for a while. So guys, okay, all the boys, next month there will be a test online to test you on certain topic as SRQ and SPQ. All right, so we are talking about these two, right? Okay, we're going to close it by end of this today lesson. Okay, every month we have different lesson. Okay, this is the question that I spot for y'all. So let's see. Okay, we are talking about 2020. We are talking about this one, and it's very high chance your exam will come out something like that in your school. And it's a very high chance we're talking about climate change here. Okay, because Singapore now is talking about sustainability, global warming, and all these things. Okay, and this is what you're supposed to do. Sometimes I also busy, I forgot that you after the end of the lesson, you have to tell me 2 things that you have learned. Now, okay, so why my mouse not moving? Okay, so yes, this is the team, right, guys? Right. So team A done already. Yang Xiang and Jia Ling. Jia Ling, are you the one holding the PowerPoint presentations?
Is Xiang.
Yang Xiang, then okay, then we have to wait for him to come in later. All right, so let's go through this one later. Okay, remember the 3 M's here, huh? Okay. Okay, so by now I want to test the Ziying, you know what is this 3M? You can explain to the class? Typical Singapore student. Don't call my name. Okay. All right. Bei Kun, quick one. What is the 不要弄我丢脸啊 ，OK， 我们要做好，贝坤，这边有新啊 VIP guest 啊，今天你要展出你的才华 ，OK，Let's go. What is MediShield？ 贝坤 ，wait， 赵璇 ，if you are there, you can turn on your camera. Don't worry, if you want to lie down and listen to my class, I'm perfectly okay. But I want to see your face if possible. If not, can you show me a thumbs up that you are there, Zhao Xuan? All right, thank you. No need to talk, Zhao Xuan. Yes, you're there. Zhao Xuan is having a bit of sore throat. Okay. Sorry, Ziying, you can't see his handsome face. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Ziying? Right. Okay. Yes, MediShield.
Okay, so MediShield is like a type of insurance where it helps you cover a bit of the medical bills when you go to hospital.
Stop it. I want you to talk like that. I just realized. Okay, from now on, please talk like that. Wait, I'll bring it to here because I got three screens here. So later, I will ask you whether what he say is correct or not. So every time when you do this, you must say this, okay? So then how? So MediShield is what? Then and how? Okay, that will give you a better, deeper understanding. So MediShield is?
Okay, so MediShield is a type of insurance which then covers some of the medical fees for patients.
Medical fees of patients. Okay.
Like for example.
This is how. This is how already. Okay, Ziying. So is the explanation. Then it's more detailed with things that you're going to elaborate. How is where you're going to give the example. Let's go.
Okay, so for example, there's like people who doesn't have children and their retirement fee is not enough to pay the medical bills. So MediShield will subsidize some fees for them so that they have like it's easier for them to pay for the medical bills.
Thank you. That's all?
Yeah.
Ziying, did he explain correctly to you?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Your voice a bit, you're very far away from your mic.
Yes.
Yes. Chelsea, do you think Bei Kun explained correctly?
Generally.
Generally, actually, it's only 10% to 20% correct. Okay, Jialing.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you cannot get this 3M correct, I tell you, you got really a big problem next time when you come out to work. Okay. Okay. Let me wait. Wait for Xing Chen. What is MediSave? Zixing, you bring down your camera a bit, don't mind. Thanks. Jialing also, thanks. Yes, Xing Chen. What is MediSave? Please do not Google it and tell me the answer. I can know. I know it. By the way, Ziying, Uncle Raymond used to be an insurance agent with 3 big companies. So I took the exam and I used this very good example to share with my class. Xing Chen. This one cannot, that's not very good. Okay, you see this part here? This is used for, okay, next time I'll take a picture and show you. This is used for one of the insurance company to explain to you about retirements. Can you see the things very clearly? Can see now. And then this thing can move on. This one can move. Okay, this one can move and tell you whether you're these young couples, pre-family, and then you'll talk about this part here. Okay, so I used to bring this to my school last time to explain to them. Okay, maybe next time. Okay, Xinchen, are you ready to explain? Xinchen. Okay, Jialin, can you explain MediSave?
MediSave is
So what is MediSave?
MediSave is like a compulsory saving account that helps Singaporean with like lower income to like subsidize their treatment, like medical treatment.
Example?
Uh, mm, not sure.
Okay, Chelsea?
MediSave is a part of your CPF account. It is, I think, was 9% of your CPF, like your monthly salary when you're 40 to 50. Then it becomes 10%, and later when you're older than 55, it's 10.5%. It is a part of your it's part of the CPF where you can use to pay for your hospital bills. And if you have gone through certain procedures, for example, like certain surgeries where you have to stay in the hospital for the day, then you can use the MediSave, your own MediSave, to pay for the bills. And MediSave can also be used for prolonged situations,
Prolonged illnesses.
illnesses. For example, those that you have to get a treatment at your house itself.
Critical illnesses right now, critical illnesses. There are total 30 critical illnesses, which your teacher will definitely not explain to you. Of course, one of the 30 critical illnesses will be talking about the cancer, right? Okay, cancer, it can recover. And some of them will be blood transfusion. But now with the new, I am not following up the insurance type. Last time was cancers is covered, and some surgical, some bypass, heart attack, or things like that. Okay, carry on. Any more, Chelsea?
No.
Okay, well said. Okay, Ziying and rest of you, please. I've been explaining this many times. I think it's very confusing. Now, just remember, okay, guys, look at the drawer here. Ziying, is it the MediSave drawer is a bit smaller? Then the MediShield is a bit bigger than the first one, right? I tell you, I went to Google and searched for this drawer for a long time. Even when I do face-to-face, I literally have to go to the cupboard. Can you imagine in our school, right? I used to be teaching in school. I have to use the metal cupboard. I have to take out one of the shell to prove that there's different sizes. 所谓百闻不如一见嘛, correct? A picture speaks 1,000 words. So I show them literally how the cupboard works. Okay, so guys, of course, the last one, Ziying. Don't mind today I target Ziying because it's new. I just want to help her. The rest follow up. Doesn't mean you guys are not important. Anyway, guys, you are more important than her. Okay, don't worry. Okay, okay, so don't get angry. So Medifund, Ziying, is it bigger? Yeah, okay. Let me explain to you one and very, very simple. I use the so there now. So MediShield, so I start with this one first. My this one. Can you see the mouse pointing MediSave? So listen carefully. This is recording. So if you forget, please refer back to the video. This is super important. Chelsea, you are right about 9%. But I really can't remember how many percent already. Okay, ready? Let me explain. First, MediSave is compulsory as long as you are Singaporean and PR and you are working. The moment next year, you're 16 years old, after your O-level, you want to work part-time job. Whether you work in Starbucks, which I worked before, or work in any company that pay you contribution of CPF. If you do part-time waitress, straight away, you will get contribution. So like example, you work 1 month for $1,000. 20%, excuse me, copying. 20% will go to your CPF. And what Tiao Xing say, 9% will go to your Medisave. Okay, this Medisave is only the word Medi means for medical purposes. Okay, only employed. So Medisave, for example, Zi Ying and the rest of you, if your parents are Singaporean or PR, their Medisave can also help you to defray the cost. For example, if Mr. and Mrs. Tan is working, but they got 2 children and got a elderly parents, touch wood, if the elderly parents or the children got diarrhea, got anything, go to hospital, Mr. and Mrs. Tan can use this Medisave to pay for their, right now, for their immediate family. Okay? So you say, uncle, so how about Mr. Tan's brother, Mr. Tan's sister? Unless they are handicapped, they stay together in the household, then they can help to defray the cost for the handicap. So, but usually are the immediate family, which is the spouse, the children, and their aging parents will stay with them together. Well, not necessarily they stay together. Sometimes the aging parents can stay in Ang Mo Kio and they stay in Tampines. Okay, so this Medisave is compulsory saving for medical bills for the immediate family, for Singaporean and PR only, and working adults. So you guys, no, don't have. Unless next end of this year, beginning of next month, I'm sorry, beginning of next year, January, you go and work part-time, then the company contributes CPF, then you see there's this account coming in. But because of the, now I'm going to this one already, so I use a so, I use a then, and how, I use the example for Mr. and Mrs. Tan already, correct now? So this is Medisave, that is help to defray the cost of medical bills. Instead of paying cash, you can pay some of this Medisave. For example, if this Mr. Tan, the bill come out $1,000, die, I got not so much money there. Okay, never mind. Then you pay cash $300, $700 from the Medisave. Okay, then Mr. Tan know that Jala is in Malay, die. That means like that, my aging parents always got to go in and out hospital, stay. I think I better buy a MediShield. Now, ladies and gentlemen, MediShield is only for wealth. You see, you just remember, when it's raining, the bank don't give you umbrella. When it's sunshine, the bank give you umbrella. It's unnecessary, right? So you must be healthy enough, then you are covered by MediShield. Okay, later we'll explain to you what is that. MediShield is that you take some money from Medisave and then to buy a shield. Shield means from AIA Insurance Company, NTUC Income, Great Eastern, AXA, Aviva, and Prudential. These are the insurance company who help you to pay some of the costs. So for example, Mr. and Mrs. Wong just got married. They have a baby. So Mrs. Wong go and deliver right? So maybe 她是开刀的， so 开刀的生孩子比较贵， so the cost is about 8,000. So he stay in a certain expensive hospital. So $8,000, he can listen, $3,000 pay cash. So that 5,000, right? 5,000, he can use 2,500 to pay by, $8,000, 3,000 pay by cash, and then maybe $3,000 pay by Medisave. 是不是剩下2000 right? 剩下2000 right? This 2,000 the MediShield can help to pay. So practically he pay how much? 3,000 only. All right, but of course the Medisave is his money, correct now? So total is pay $6,000. 3,000 hard cash come out from his pocket and 3,000 for Medisave, whereas the 2,000 from AIA policy. But if the person don't have MediShield, don't have the shield, practically have to pay how much? 5,000 cash and 3,000 for Medisave, 对不对？对吗？贝坤 agree 了？嘉玲对吗？ So people ask, hey uncle, so sometimes my customer ask me, is it good to buy a MediShield? Yes, it is good. But 保证provided 子英 if the Mr. and Mrs. Tan 没有进医院，没有生孩子，没有什么严重的病住在医院他是白白每年要还几百块钱的。It's just buying insurance like that. Insurance 就是有事情发生他才给你，对不对？ Insurance got 3 things. One is for when the person die, the money give to the beneficiary. When the person don't die, got injured or injured, then they pay for medical bill. And the third one is the person didn't die, no injured, but I retire already. Then the money accumulate. It's like putting money in the bank account. 明白吗，子英 好，记住啊 ，Shield 是有一个 insurance company to help to defray your these medical bills and medical costs. Okay. Now, Medifund, we don't use that. Medifund just okay. Just now Jia Ling and Bei Kun, you are mentioning to lower income. No, lower incomes. If you do not have MediSave, MediShield, you have to pay cash one. So this is where Jia Ling and Ziying and everyone listening. You have no choice, but you know what? You have to go and knock on the door to the MP 那个部长 ，okay, to ask for help. 哎，部长，请你帮忙，我没有钱还钱，你可以帮我 ？Yeah, it's true. Then the MP will write a letter to the house, the doctors or something like that to ask for help. So this is a gracious society. It's ask for help. Wait, I'm asking for Yang Xiang why he's not in yet. So take note now. Medifund is only for what is very low income citizen, must be Singaporeans and PR. These are the people who cannot afford the two drawer. Okay, these are the group of people who cannot afford the two drawer. Low income people still can use MediSave, MediShield, provided they still got money. These two is that the money run out already. 没有钱还医药费了 cannot pay the cost, no choice. Then they go and ask for help. 哎，政府，多隆啊 ，please 帮忙我的父亲进医院，开销很大 ，high medical bills, I can't pay. This is where the government, thanks to your parents, Ziying, Jialing, Bei Kun, Xing Chen, Qiao Xing, and Zhao Xuan, and Yang Xiang, that your parents contribute income tax, corporate tax, GSTs, ERP, and all the taxes, take certain portion. So the government earn, let's say this year they earn $10 billion, 10 billion. So they'll take certain part of the money to put into this fund. 明白吗 ？OK， 就算讲难听一点他说了，比如说这个学生他在学校，他的父亲pass away， 所以每个学生他的父亲pass away， 刚好是父亲是 breadwinner， then 他很可怜 right， 没有不可以读书了，又可以交水电费 a lot， so all the students 听到了，他跟老师讲，老师就叫每个学生筹钱给这个学生，就是这个叫是翻来的，明白吗？你只要记住这个很简单的红头巾，你懂谁是红头巾吗？戴帽子的红头巾以前建屋子的，你懂妈姐吗？就是那些以前的 helper 啦。就是李光耀就有那些像 helper 就是穿白色衣服，就是 servant， they don't contribute CPF, right? So what happened is that these are the people who contribute for the society of Singapore, right? I think it's gracefully, rightfully to help them to pay the cost. So thank you to your parents who help. You see, all the taxes money we already contribute and give up to the rest of the citizen to share. Just like the GST voucher, what call this the PUB rebates. You know, right? If you stay in HDB, you got rebates and all these things. Okay, so you can see this is so wonderful that these Medifunds are helping those people need medical attentions like 红头巾nobody take care. So this is where this 红头巾auntie might be staying in a one-room flat. But he's very sick already. He needs someone that you have to bring the ambulance, or maybe he need to go for dialysis. So some medical staff will bring the wheelchair to the one-room flat, bring the auntie to go to the 洗肾中心, the dialysis center, okay, and to and fro. All this 要钱的嘛，对不对？所以 right, all this 要钱的嘛。So then who is going to pay? The government pay lor. Thanks to your parents who pay taxes, and all these funds are only for. Now, Ziying and the rest of you, do you agree? If you can afford MediSave and MediShield, you should not touch the Medifund, right? 对不对？ This fund is free for poor, very super poor people who cannot afford to pay. They already are quite sick already. Some of them are in the terminal illness, the last stage of cancer. Okay, don't tell me, 哎呀，他们都要死了，算了，不用给钱 ，no 这种是天打雷劈对吗，贝贵？如果这个人讲这种话是天打雷劈 ，don't be my student. Okay, seriously. So this is the fun. So guys, Now you understand why we have to show you this now. Because at the end of the day, I don't think your teacher will explain so detailed. At the end of the day, when you come out to work, you will know where your money goes to. True enough. You know your money is helping the poor and the needy and the low income. Then you pay tax 也是爽，对不对? You know, let's say you are taxed 1 year $5,000, and you know out of $5,000, $1,000 is going to the Medifund to help the poor. It's okay, what? True enough. Imagine Pei Kun, if the tax is go to the MP to buy a Mercedes, will you want? No one, of course. Now you understand why? Social study is reality. It help you. I'm so sorry, Jia Ling. Yang Xiang is still not in yet. I don't know what happened. I mean, that's why I halfway through I pause. So just remember these 3M. All of you, please don't confuse it. Please. MediSave is compulsory. Just make it simple. So MediSave is compulsory. Then it's used for only Singaporean and PR. How? Pay for medical bill. Full stop. MediShield is half share of MediSave to pay. Then it used to pay for medical bill and no need to come up everything for MediSave. Okay, that's all. Then so Medifund is for those people who cannot afford the 2 drawer on top. Just remember that, and that's it. And then how for the poor people? Then if you really cannot remember, just remember the Hong Tou Jing. Okay, the Samsui woman, the Hong Tou Jing. Because Samsui woman, they help Singapore to construct building, and they don't have CPF there. The poor thing, they are really damn poor things. Seriously, okay. All right. So what is MediSave? I already explained to you. It's a national medical saving. And what is the MediShield? It's also explained here. Okay. They will not test you out how many company are there. So I already tell you. And anyway, some teacher good enough, they will tell you these are the company. They will just say sharing with insurance company. So sometimes children take note now. Sometimes some structure-based question, they might show you maybe a AIA or NTUC, a building. Then you say, what could they do with this building? Uncle Raymond showed me before. That means this insurance company help the person to help to defray some medical costs. Okay. So Medifund, you see, there's a criteria. Okay, this is where Jialing, you're using the word subsidize or vehicle subsidize. MediShield, Medifund got subsidized, but it's different way of subsidizing. So this is the one with subsidized patient who seriously cannot afford to pay medical bill. How much is this? $3 million. It's damn huge, no? Okay, it's really huge for a small country to put aside so much money to help these people who are really quite sick, who cannot afford, or most of them I'm telling you the truth. This right now, community hospital. If you go to community hospital, because I used to bring my father-in-law for dialysis. Okay, and when I go in, I see some of them really poor thing. Some of them, the old people are being pushed by the nurses. So Uncle remember very capable. Then I问the father-in-law. Then I talk to the nurse. I flirt with the nurse there. Very good. Shh. I flirt with the nurse. No, I talk to the nurse. I don't flirt. So I asked the nurse what happened. They say, oh, no, sorry, they are Filipinos, right? Or sir, because they actually they do not have children, or their children's give up on them and they stay in old folks home. Oh, my heart sank, man, bro. Last year I went to help a Medicare. I literally brought this old auntie and uncle to dialysis. But thank God the son got work is working. But they stay in a very small, like 2房1厅那种小屋子. You see, the son also cannot afford. They have to ask for government for help. You see, so this is where our money is fully utilized. So you are very safe, children. So you know why, Chelsea, all of you, here is not to study Sec 4. Yeah, you're going for your university. So when you come out, you know who to vote for. You know who to vote for the right government. Agree now, Chelsea? Right. You don't vote for governments who support and take the money away and buy big houses and big Hermes bag. Right? You give back to the society. This is what I think is really gracious society. All right? No, she's still not in. So is MediSave the same? No, it's not really the same. Okay, Ziying, you remember this? You must have the MediSave account, then before you can have a shield. Okay? You cannot buy a shield without a save. So you have to save first before you buy a shield. A shield is a co-saving, it's a co-insurance to help you to cut down your medical expenses. Take for example, like Mr. and Mrs. Wong give birth. Mrs. Wong give birth in the Mount Elizabeth Hospital or Tan Tock Seng Hospital or KK Hospital. Now remember, KK Hospitals is very heavily subsidized because it's a government hospital. You have to take note. But usually, most of them who can afford will go to a better class hospital. Okay, like myself, my 3 children are not in KK Hospital. My first 2 is Thomson Hospital, and my last one was in Mount Avenue. I tell you, Ziyi, my wife nearly died because of my youngest son. Seriously, 高龄产妇. The blood pressure was 200 on the day she gave birth. 一尸两命. Okay, the heart, the liver, the lung, everything was really very bad. I was so damn bloody shocked. The whole bill cost how much? You know, $25,000. Luckily, my Medisave, my Medishield enough. Thank God I bought a Medishield. If not, 我跟你讲, really, the moment I pay the bills, the nurse told me, sir, it's 25,000. I say, sorry, I don't have so much money. Don't worry, sir. I just checked in the system. You bought a shield for your wife, and your wife bought the shield for herself to cover all the expenses. Only the pediatrician, the baby doctors who take care of my younger son, that one I have to pay cash. Because you bought the policy to cover for her during the delivery. You see? Now you understand, huh? Good, huh? Okay, I can't wait for our dear friend to come in. So maybe let's talk about globalization first. Then we do the presentation. Hopefully she can come in later. Okay, so globalization. Xingchen, can you read to the class, please? We are talking about, okay, this one here. In your opinions, explain 2 possible ways local entertainment can compete. It's in your textbook, to say. Okay, it's in your textbook, 320 and 321. Okay, and this SRQ, there is a formula to use. Right, 贝坤，我有跟你讲过是吗？ It's called taxi. Remember, very useful, right? Jialing, you used that before, right? Taxi. Okay, what is T? What is A? What is X and I? Do not share, Ziyi. Do not share with parents. I'm sorry. Do not share with your classmates. Share with your parents. Why? I'm so sorry, Ziyi. I want you to be selfish. Okay, this is the only thing I teach you to be selfish. When you're successful, then you share. Okay. Okay. Of course, you want to win the EduSave award and top in the class. Unless you tell me, Ziyi, your classmate is so nice. Hey, Ziyi, I got something new. I went to the tuition. I got this idea. Then you share with her. Fair enough, right? Correct. No? 我不是叫你一辈子自私，在这个时候没办法，我一定要叫你自私。If everyone know the formula, can you imagine the examiner will what? The answer is the same. 你要别出心裁 you must be rose among the thorns. T stand for the timeline. A stand for what? The audience. X stand for the explanation. And I is the issue, right? 贝坤. So this is issue 3, correct? Remember, I teach you the issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, right? Issue 1 is stand for what? Jialing, can you still remember? NR. Remember the acronym for issue 1? You know, issue 1 got chapter 1, 2, and 3, correct? You can't remember all the words. So I taught them to use the acronyms to remember. NRIC, correct not? Remember 乔欣？还记得吗？忘记了？我怕了，等一下如果你忘记我真的要开那个 file 给你们看的，请你们等一下先。Where is my file? So you have to give me a minute first. I have to search for the file now. Where is? Oh, where is it? Give me a minute. I'm opening out the file, please. Excuse me, boss. You have a text message. Where's my PowerPoint? Okay, good. Okay, let me open the file and share with all of you. You forgot already, guys? This one? 小信，贝坤，你忘记了？嘉玲记得吗？子英 this is what I'm talking about. You see issue 1. Okay, can you see? Do you see the PowerPoint slide? So you see, let me make it bigger. Okay, this is what I've been using since the moment they started social study in 2015 or 2014. I can't remember. I came out this acronym. Okay, then issue 2 I call floats. So I mean seriously, you're not going to remember what is diversity so long, right? Oh, very long, right? So I shorten it for easy remembrance. So let's go for this one. The first slide here. So issue 1, we are talking about nationality. These 3 are identity and citizenship. Okay. Then issue 2 is a bit from 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 chapter. We are talking about foreigners, locals, opportunity awareness. 对吗？贝坤？对吗？贝坤？ Right? Yeah. 小心 right? Then issue 3 is the one we are talking now, just now, the hybrid and homogenizations. We are talking about workers, overseas research and leadership and defense. So all in all, you can see how it works breakdown. So this is one, okay. So don't worry if you forget. I will keep repeating this. So it's easy to remember, right? Right. So you just remember NRIC. NRIC 就是你的拼 IC 对吗？ Right. Your NRIC floats the world. Very easy to remember. So L stand for foreigner, L stand for local. You just remember the acronyms easier because true. Issue 3 is about the world, correct? How we respond tension arising from economic impacts to globalization. That's why the beginning of the class I asked about, is it Russia attacked Ukraine? Is it because of political reason, or is it for economical reason, or is it for social reason? Now it makes sense? Jia Ling, agree? Now it makes sense? So I approached, sorry 这种东西不可以乱讲话的。Seriously, 这种是很 sensitive. So when I choose Zhao Xuan, are you there? Thumbs up. When Zhao Xuan, I did not know what Zhao Xuan means. We say 自找. But when I choose Russia to attack Ukraine, there's 3 main reasons which I explain to you. Why? Okay. There's a reason. Yes, Xiao Xing. You're saying something? Oh no. There's a reason why this Russian have to attack. Is it due to because of this one, or is it because they are worried that the NATO is coming in to take the homogenization? You get me now? Is it going to take everything in? Or are they going to erode out with political reason, the leaderships? Then you see tension arising for security impact. Is it true? Oh, by the way, let's hope, Ziying, you're set for, okay, by the way, I hope, the last 2 years, this topic was not being covered. Do you know that? It was not being covered because of COVID, and then the MOE decided to slash out this topic. So if this year, touch wood, nothing happened, very high chance this topic will come out. Okay, will sure come out. I prepared a lot of notes for my 3 years ago. 3 years ago, right? For before the COVID, that was 2019. Was it 2019? Yeah, 2019. Okay, this topic. So got quite a lot of material for this security impact. So this topic will not this topic will not cover now. You will cover somewhere in June or July. Fair enough? So we cover the other things first. Most likely June or July, or maybe April or May, I don't know yet. So Ziying, you understand this one? Easy to remember, If you want, can take a pictures if you want to, all right? Or screenshot. Okay, I'm going to close it in 3, 2, 1. Close. Don't save. Next one I want to show you is this one. This is a skill for SRQ that a lot of people tell me that they got different method to use it, or my teacher used this method, that method. I find it this one is much easier in my opinion. straight to the point, which is this, okay? It's called taxi. Okay, so you just remember the time factors. When is the time factors? Anything that is before before 2010, okay, before 2010 is past. Anything that is after 2010 will be present. Anything that is beyond 2020, like 2030, they got this Singapore Green Plan. Please go and look and read. Very important, that one. Singapore Green Plan 2030. I won't be surprised it might come out in one of the SBQ. So you must talk about audience. So Uncle Raymond has choose 16 audience, 20 audience here. And it's very important in your social response questions. You need to know all these audience. And then you have to explain the extract, which are by right, I forgot to put it here, is okay. The good thing, Ziying, when I was in my previous school, I got two very expert and professional teachers. One of them is a teacher who taught NIE teachers. And she is the one who wrote the books for social study and history. I was very honored to be, and then I got 3 mentors. Okay, I'm not expert. I copied them a lot. So I got 3 mentors. One of them, when I joined MOE, this mentor helped me and she's still teaching in the school. The other 2 mentors, one of them retired already. In fact, I got a very good history mentor also. So I thank God I have these beautiful colleagues who share and care. So I came up with my own this. It's called Describe, Explains with Example and Expressions as a result and link back to the questions I called here. Some of them will use before. Describe, explain, okay, and F is I can't remember it's the F, and organize and link something. Oh, feeling. F is stand for feeling. Okay. So depends on your school, Ziying. If your school, like my goddaughter last year graduated, he used some acronym I call sailors. Okay. Then my students, they use another acronym I can't remember, PEL, PEL. Then another group got, to be honest, don't use PEL. Please, if your school using PEL, please drop away. I'm very frank with you. Ziying, you don't complete your Set 4 and come out to work, right? You're going to go for A-level, right? And then you go for university, right? So I'm preparing you for university. I don't prepare you for O-level. If you just come to prepare for O-level, sorry, this is not your class. Okay, so all my students are 3 steps ahead. This is what you want, correct? No? Okay, so this is, you see, what is the point of learning all these skills when you're not going to apply, reply, supplies, and imply when you want to use it in the real world? You'll be nuts, man, correct? No? Just like my son, my elder son, he got very good in social study. Every time I ask him question, no, I just memorize by heart. Wow, really 气死我背不，被气死我。Because practically he's don't care. It's really FML. It's really FML. He just don't care about it. Very sad. My own son, he's now 26. But okay lah. He knows after that he knows it applies. So Ziying, social study is a subject that you must pass. It's a compulsory subject. You should know right by now. Okay, a lot of parents think that social study is not important. You're wrong. Even you got A1s and your social study humanities is B3. Okay, and even that person who got B3 in maths or what, if the other person got like Pei Kun, for example, you got A1 or A2 in your combined humanities A1, and the other subject maybe 2 or 3, then the 2 of you fighting for the same faculties, very high chance you'll get in. You are the one who is having a higher grades, like A1, A2 in combined humanities. When you compare the other subject, so not so good with him. And the rest got the other student got A1 for maths and science, but B4 for social study. But maybe you got B2, A2 and B3s, that kind, but your social study got A1 and 2, you will get into the faculties. Okay. So this is the one I'm talking about. And then we talk about issue. Which issue? Is it issue 1, 2, or 3? So your main focus. A lot of students are in, when you see the structured response question, right? The first thing you ask yourself, which issue is that? Is it global one, or is it diversity, or is it citizen? You're lucky, children. There's only 3 issues. The old syllabus got a lot of topics to study. They got Venice, they got Sri Lanka, they got Northern Irons, okay, they got Iraq and Kuwait war, a lot. So now it's really zoom in to here, okay? So I hope I give you some ideas. So go back to the things there. I think, sorry, Jia Ling, I think our dear friends Yang Xiang is not coming in already. So no choice, you have to present next week. Okay, can because you don't have the slide. So where should I go? Did I unshare? Okay. So go back to this one here. Later then we share. Okay, so Zixing, you see question 1 and 2. Look at your textbook. So is this issue 1 or 2? This one will be issue 2, right? Issue 3, right? Then you have to ask yourself, who is the target audience? When is the timeline? Okay, who is the audience? How are you going to explain this using the DERL? So hybridization. So look at my answer. Children, have you done this question already? You're supposed to submit, the 6 of you. Okay, one of them is that I would say local movies and local singing contests. This will somehow to compete with foreign entertainments. Okay, so that means, are you willing to support? Just like Ziyi, you're from China, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you China or Singaporean? Your parents from China? I can't hear you.
Parents from China, but I'm born in Singapore.
Oh, okay. So you see, China now got a lot of movies, right? A lot of drama. But then the Americans and other countries like K-pop, my daughter crazy for K-pop. Okay, K-pop or J-pop, Japan, Japanese, you know, they like to Jing attack China for all their entertainment. But then we have a restriction, right? China have a restriction to prevent all this to coming back. Same thing, the Japanese also want to restrict Korean K-pop to Japan. You see, just like you realize if you watch Singapore TV, they only show a few of the segments, like a bit of Korean movie, Korean drama, China drama, or even Taiwan drama. But most of the time they will show Singapore drama, right? Is to show the patriotism, to show the entertainment scene. So to have can I use the word, to feel a sense of belonging, something that you are interested to it. Okay, that is why I put it local movie and local singing contest. Honestly, do you know recently got this S-pop? Okay, they got this competition, 新谣啊，像不是新谣，就是新加坡的歌手。Last time got this singing contest in Singapore. They got Malay, Indian, Chinese, whatever race. As long as you're Singaporean, you can take part in the singing contest. So they have these two. Taufik Batista, you know who, right? Taufik Batista, who sing the song. Do you know not? Xing Chan. You know about it, Xing Chan. You know about Taufik Batista, Jia Ling. Okay, they last year. He was the one performed during National Day. He's one of the top winner of the singing contest in Singapore. Okay, please take note of his name. It's called Batista. So far, they only 2 contests. They did not continue the 3rd one. So okay, so Chinese one they call the S-pop. Sorry, I did not really watch that. Okay, so next. Is it hybridization or homogenization important? See, always remember, if they ask you this question, is it your parents' love important or your grandparents' love important? Which one is more important to you, Ziyi? Both are equally important, right? Right. So you talk 1 paragraph of parents' love and talk 1 paragraph of grandparents' love. I think they heard my story until they get tired already. Remember, I told you one of my students choose grandparents' love, right? Did I mention that? Did I mention Pei Kun, Jia Ling? Did I mention or can you remember Pei Kun? Okay, so Ziying, let me explain. So for example, there's a question asked you, parents love, grandparents love, sibling love, your husband or your spouse love, and your children love. These are the 5 love. Which one do you think is more important? 我有讲过对吗？Pei Kun? So one of my students choose grandmother's love. You know what? The whole class is a true story. The whole class scolded him. So wow, 你走狗啊！你真是 all the F word come out on him. No, seriously, as a discipline teacher in front of my face. Okay, this is how I teach. I really open one. I was an ex-discipline teacher, and I'm also presently a police officer, volunteer police officer. So he scolded him. Then you know what happened? Ziyi? Yeah, because my parents divorced. My father was in jail. My grandmother single-handedly brought me out and my sister. If one day I'm successful, I also want to tell my wife and my children, Because of my success is due to my grandmother who went to pick up cardboard. I tell you, the whole bloody class keep quiet. I went to him, I asked him to stand up, I bowed to him 90 degrees. You don't see teacher bow to student, right? I really bow 90 degrees at Japanese, and this is how I work. I respect, and that student, no hard feeling, is my NA student. And guess what? He's now, I think, I don't contact him, he's in my Facebook. I think he should be in university. You know why? After he graduated ITE, he did very well. He want to go poly. He said, Uncle, my grandmother got no money to send me. Never mind. Go and ask for MP for help. Ask him to write a letter and ask for a bursary, scholarship. You see? Say, I asked him. His name is, I will never forget, his name is called Noel. Noel. So what is your plan? Uncle, I think you're right. No, he don't call me uncle, sorry. He called me Mr. Shong. In school, cannot call me uncle, ma. He called me Mr. Shong. I think you're right. Study is the most important thing. Then I asked him, why? You told us before, education will get rid of poverty. Whoa. I stand up, I bow to him. He was actually giving CNDC, CCA, training all the young set 1, set 2. He's not my student. I always tell my NA student, you are my leaders. Okay? So guys, remember, always choose your passionate, most emotional, that something that touched the heart of the examiner. Because the last paragraph is the one you choose. Is it homogenization or hybridizations? Is it is it cultures? This one, medicine, you're supposed to talk also. I just want to bring out this one first. Is this cultural or entertainment of food? Ziying, which one do you think is the most important?
Entertainment.
I would say culture. Without culture, how you come out entertainment? Without culture, how you come out good food? Agree? It's not a chicken and egg. The culture developed the kind of food that will always remember. Ayo, 这是我奶奶哇，乔信. I always remember you the one last week you show me 的什么那个饺子right? 是不是饺子那个包是吗? Okay. So yesterday I asked my China student who is now in Singapore. I asked 他的妈咪去做那个锅贴给我吃，莆田锅贴，古早味。Because there is a culture, right? 子英对吗？锅贴、饺子还有那种包馒头是中国的 culture, right? And through the culture of food, we show entertainment in the movie. Agree not, Jialing, right? So I find it culture is the most significant and most utmost important in our life. But not wrong, Ziyi. If you choose entertainment, right? You have to use your heart. Just like my student, he chose grandmother's love, the most important compared to the parents' love. Prove to me why you think entertainment is good. You must have the animations, the bullets to shoot. Agree not, Ziyi? Just imagine you are a lawyer now. You are defending your client called Mr. Entertainment. So, yeah. I always like to do this because my dream is to become a lawyer. I don't know how come I become a teacher. Okay, last year actually I want to go for my law course. My wife stopped me. So cannot go. So if I were to study now, it's for the sake of benefit. I just want to get 我爽嘛 Okay, 对不对？我爽嘛对不对？ But before that, I love law so much. So you are defending this kind called entertainment. Why you think entertainment should be the one more outstanding than the culture and food? Because entertainment is nowadays in the 21st century that people are born together. Through entertainments, they build up the forgets of the past of culture. Through entertainments, you bring food on the tables that people are born together. Through entertainments, you bring the mesmerizings of the cultures, the nostalgic flavors of food. Through entertainments is where you open up the world to see different cultures. Without entertainment today, we will not know what is K-pop culture. Without entertainment today, we do not know how the Chinese cha dao is all about. Without entertainment today, what is the purpose of social media? To entertain food and culture. Therefore, entertainment is the most important. I rest my case. 你懂吗？你要自言自语的在家讲话。 At the same time, you're improving your oral. Okay, right. So later you will see the group performing. So before that, guys, you are supposed to do this. Okay, I will not put your name inside. Sorry, don't mind. Right. So these are the group. Next week, then you can come in. If you are going to continue with us, come in as a judge. As a judge, that means you are telling me who will win. But if you choose team B, team A and C, and go to your house and whack you, I don't know. Okay, all right, just kidding. This is how I talk and teach. I'm sorry. So just remember, SRQ is you really respond to the questions. You have to show your DER, you describe, explain with example and how you feel. You feel positive, you feel negative. So if you feel positive, result is, as a result, people feel safe to stay in Singapore. Therefore, Singapore is a good place to stay. Something like that. Okay, now, Chelsea, would you mind read to the class? So I happen to get an answer like this from the website, not my answer. I find it very close. By the way, this answer, surprising, it's not A-level, it's a high level one. That means in other countries, they have been doing this topic in a kind of university. I told you right, Zee, I'm not interested to let you pass O-level. This, whatever I teach, I want to relate to real skill. Chelsea, let's go.
Globalization is one of the most important aspects of the modern world. It affects all spheres of human activities, starting from education, policy, management, and ending with art, culture, etc. However, one should keep in mind that it is not a single process, but a set of issues affecting the world and promoting the appearance of crucial changes in people's mentalities and worldviews. Therefore, there are such trends as hybridization, homogenization, or differentialism.
Differentialism, yes.
These affect the modern society by creating new ideas and suggesting unusual perspectives on the world and its further evolution.
Chelsea, do you know what is this Smith 29 means?
Quote from the Bible.
I like that. Okay, quote from the Bible. Sing Chan, what is the Smith 29 means?
Not sure.
Okay. Jialing,
Oh, I don't know.
Ziying,
Gun?
sorry?
Gun?
Huh?
Gun?
Do you all get what she said?
There's a gun called Smith 29.
There's a dawn. No, I don't get you. There is what?
A gun. G-U-N.
D-U-N, dawn.
G-U-N.
Is this like that? Is this how it-
She said gun. G-U-N.
Gunsmith. You mean the Smith has a gun? Oh, you don't be so violent. But I like the way, man. High five, man. I give you high six, keep the change. Smith 29 is actually referring to one of the textbook or one of the books or one of the write-ups from a professor. So children, take note now, the six of you, including Yang Xiang, you're looking. So when you're doing your A-level or your diploma or even your university, you have to quote from some books. So this quote is quote by this Smith 29. So this Smith 29 can be, it's not very good the way they quote. The 29 can be page 29. So when they put Smith 29 at the appendix, okay, you will have all this literature that they copy from somewhere. And one of them is not quote from the gun. It's from this Smith. Maybe it's a Professor Smith or a writer, a Smith. Okay, so when you put this, that means, oh, when I read this, I know this quote is from somewhere. So they prevent plagiarism. You know it's plagiarism, right? Copycat from others. 你懂意思吗？我没有抄的这个是 Smith 讲的我是 quote 在那边，刚好他的这个 quote 可以容纳我整个 essay, can kind of beautify and just nicely block it in such a frame of this introduction. Therefore, it sounds more realistic because of these two words here. 明白吗? Okay, so take note because your O-level don't do this type. A-level onwards, you have to do all this. Thank you, Chelsea. Can you read to the class again, next paragraph?
Speaking about these, we should say that hybridization is a process categorized by blending cultures, taking its most outstanding elements and creating a new unique entity with unique properties and different from the initial ones. It results in the significant reconsideration of their identity without altering the fundamentals.
Stop. Thank you. Zhi Ying, Bei Kun, Zhao Xuan, Xing Chen, Jia Ling, and Qiao Xing. Very mouthful, right? This paragraph here, all the way here, very mouthful. That means a lot of things, right? I agree that Zhi Ying, culture, like by blending culture, see? So I choosing culture 没有错吗？对不对？ Without culture, you will not have entertainments and food. But you can rephrase it. No, I agree with you. Culture that is in the past, but with this 21st century, no, entertainments rule the world, which is true. We are talking about social media, 对吗? So maybe next time your children say, "Mommy, no, not entertainment, food 赢了咯，对吗？一代不一样吗？ Then 你的孙子又来了，奶奶不是 food， 妈咪讲错了，你是奶奶了哈，子怡，奶奶，妈咪讲 food 对吗？以前跟你讲不是 food， 跟你讲 culture right 不是 ，entertainment 不是 money， credit card， 对吧 ？Different generations have different perspective, but no matter what perspective it is, culture is the one because 没有根就没有那个根源。The roots itself must be very important. Okay, so you have to understand why Russia want to attack Ukraine because the roots, if you look at the past history of Russia, Ukraine is part of Russia, right? It's because of after the collapse of the Cold War. That's like imagine Sentosa, it belongs to Singapore. Imagine Sentosa give away to Indonesia, to Malaysia. You know how you feel. All right, the next few generations will want to fight back, even though it's a small tiny island. It's a principle, 对吗? It's the 面子. Okay, this is something like that. So this culture, it results the silicon reconciliation, you see, is so important. This sentence is so important, altering the fundamental without altering fundamental. You can change your entertainment, you can change your food, you can change your clothing, you can change your trends, but you cannot change your culture and the values, regardless of homonizations or hybridization. Wow, super powerful. You don't believe, right? You don't believe, right? Let's read. Come, individuals. So,
individuals preserve some unusual aspects of their mentality stipulated by culture. However, at the same time, they might look at their roots from the perspective formed under the impact of new culture or aspects of culture.
Thank you. Sorry, you see, new culture or aspect culture. So, Zhi Ying, you see your parents are from China. My ancestors also from China. The thing is that, are we going to bring the culture from my ancestor to Singapore? Or now because I'm a Singaporean, okay, 我土生土长在 Singapore, should I really follow like as a Catholic, as a Christian? Do I follow to go 清明节? Do I follow to go to do 端午节? Do I go follow to 中秋节? Or do I really follow the Chinese custom where you cannot wear black because it's very unauspicious, right? In Chinese New Year. You see the culture's evolution and revolutions, and is there a solution? Realize that? Culture evolution and revolution, is there a solution? The solution is very simple. Remember, you say mentality stipulated by cultures. Please write down. The mentality stipulated by cultures is the culture that changed your mindset. Agree now, Jialing? Right? 人家说不可以打破饭碗啊，在过年啊不吉利。then 讲花开富贵。Okay? You use Chinese. 花开富贵。哦，这样我丢多一点啊，花开富贵，花开富贵。Then you can see the whole place are full of broken pieces of plates. Right? No, right? I mean, crazy, right? But if a person don't believe in this, just sweep it, damn it. Can you imagine you married a 老外老公? Daddy, mommy 说花开富贵. Just damn it, just sweep it, man. Let's move on. True or not? You mean the Christmas or English New Year, they believe in this type of things? It's called superstitious, right? True or not? It's not really superstitious. It's a culture that believe for thousands of years. Are we going to get rid away once your next generation don't believe in this mentality stipulated by culture? Are you going to live with it or leave? You know what's the difference? Live with it or leave 就是离开. Live with it 就是 stay on. Live with it 就是come on, let's move on, man. Don't be so superstitious. 你也不是故意打破的，什么花开富贵有花咩？打破就这有花出来咩？可以imagine被困，儿子你在那边这么久，这么奶奶说把花开富贵，我等了老半天，花都还没有开，我等着花儿也谢了。Let's move on. In such a way, 小心。
In such a way, we could now observe diverse phenomena like barbecues or sushi that become
Sorry, my mouse got problem to move up. Sorry,
become popular throughout the world due to the globalization, interactions of cultures, and hybridization. I think it is a central element of coherent society as it results in the improved understanding between representatives of different cultures and stipulates the appearance of significant shifts in people mentalities.
Okay, I think you all did not receive this. This was the last minutes. You know, sometimes when I sit there, my train of thoughts come in and say, hey, you must go and search for this and get this and put in. Sometime, like next week, in fact, tomorrow is next month, there's this topic called war. Actually, I'm going to play a music by this culture called war song. Okay, so in line with what is the purpose, or even with a literature called the war by Wilford, what is his name? Owen Wilford, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. So in life, you see, when you may not have this, please copy this down. I think it's a central element of coherent society. Coherent means a society is a social fabric 所以就是你的衣服你破一个洞OK 啦，不用紧可是你破很多洞就是变成破烂不堪。So if one hole, if you don't man it, what happened? 对不对？ So what happened? The whole shirt will be torn, you'll be useless. So the social fabric, write down, the social fabric is very important to unite them together with representatives of different cultures, you see? So Ziying, I explained to you why I find it culture is still very important, right? Of course, I've been teaching this so many years, but based on me, what I say is like for example, the Russia attack Ukraine, I find it is always the political reason that people go to war. 那种野心 right? Jiayin, agree or not, Jiayin? I find it's political reason. So for this one, cultures, okay? So yeah, mentalities of the people shift. So next one, Jiayin, your turn. Moreover, thank you, Qiaoxing.
Moreover, globalization could shape cultures in the way they will look similar and lose their unique identity. Smith 30. This process is often called homogenization.
Homogenizations. Please write down this one, is very true. This process is often called this. So you say will look similar and lose their unique identity. Lose their unique identity. That means that's it. 我有学生跟我讲粽子是 burger 你第一次听过 I got one student ask me 粽子 uncle what burger is that? Never heard before. 我真的差一点从椅子掉下来。我另外学生讲那个粽子是那个 rice burger 啦。Still add a joke. 所以 a Chinese student 不是从 China a Chinese student doesn't mean Chinese must be China a Chinese student. 你说粽子，你不懂谁是七言你懂谁是七言所以你不懂谁是七言还是龙帅州the Dragon Boat. Okay, I understand 你不懂粽子是什么而且你是华人 I tell you, you're losing the culture True or not? First time in my life teaching for so long I got a student tell me, what burger is that? Yeah, Hainanese burger. Yeah. Mosh burger. Yeah. But that student is a very smart student. But sadly to say, I think agree or saying you agree that you erode the culture already. 如果每个人像他这样我很担心let's go and eat some the 粽子 burger. Remember last week we were talking about this, right? To open a 粽子 burger, right, Jialing, right? Okay, carry on, please, Jialing.
We could now see it in numerous attempts to copy the Western way of life by other peoples of all cultures. Very often it results in the extrusion of important cultural heritage. and disregard of traditional customs and beliefs. In other ways, it promotes the appearance of a single culture common to all individuals living in different religions. I think it is one of the negative aspects of globalization, as it eliminates diversity
Peculiar.
peculiar to our world and deprives people of their roots. Additionally, I believe that convergence in cultures is the key to the further development of our society, and its elimination will mean
Stagnations.
and lack of fresh ideas.
So you see, what happened is that I think a lot of countries, especially the 阿里山 the 阿里山人, I think the one in the tribes in Taiwan and some tribes in China and Aborigines in Africa, in Australia, and some of the native Indians in United States of Americas. These are the cultures that they slowly, can you write down SSD? Stand for slowly, surely, and definitely, you'll be gone. And when it's gone, that means it's gone from the surface of the earth. As a result, you will never learn their cultures and their values. So you see, I was right? Just now I mentioned about the roots. 你要懂那个根，那个来源。Okay? Which part of the tree is the most important? The roots of the tree is the most important. You don't tell me the leaf, give me shades, the branches, the fruits, the trunk, or the bark, or whatever. In fact, it's the roots that uphold and upright and upstand the entire tree to be what you become a very majestic tree. So without the roots, that means 就是没有家园，没有根. So this is very important. This topic tells you that there are some countries like Italy, they do not want to take in some Starbucks because they have their own flavors of aroma coffee. Then slowly, surely, definitely, they talk and negotiate and come in. First, now, open the McDonald's was about. So you tell me all this for what? My O level, you are wrong. You are absolutely wrong if you think like that. Okay, your teacher may not explain to you. Let me tell all of you here, including Yang Xiang, if you are paying attention in your video, because all these will affect. Oh my goodness, you're upside down already. Scare me. 不要这样嘞，我不要紧张啊，不要 stress 啊。Because whatever you learn here, it will impact your life. To impress, to express, and not to depress what you learn. Because all these things that eventually you have to make a very critical decision in your life. Why? For example, Ziying and your husband, you want to find a house that is near to your parents' house or to your husband's house, because your boy want to go to a school, right? So you have to use your comparison scale, inference scale. It's just like homogeneous. Then you explain to your husband why your son should be taken care by your parents, because your husband might have the parents might be taking care of your son's cousins, your nephew and nieces. So you want a very special environment for your son to take care. This is something like homogenization, hybridizations. Because maybe you don't want your son to influence by your husband, brother's son, because they speak all English. Okay, they don't speak Mandarin. So you want your son to cultivate Mandarin. And I'm very important in this, actually. Because all my children, I told my children, you can feel all subjects, you cannot feel Chinese. This is me. I take Chinese very serious, utmost important. Okay, because I love China history so much. Tan Song Ye Ming Qing, as my surname Song Cao, the Song dynasty. So I take it very particular, and I always tell my student, and when I was a discipline teacher, and any student who run away from mother tongue Chinese, good luck to them. Okay, their detention is to write Chinese word. They say, oh, die man, Mr. Shaw, catch me. Okay, there are people smoking or all these things, I don't care. But if they run away from mother tongue, good luck to them, pay good. 约法三章，就地正。Okay, so carry on. Next will be Pei Kun. Can you read? Just now you finish your water. Let's go. At the same time. Ready? You cannot. Okay. Ziying, can you be kind enough to, because Pei Kun say, I would prefer Ziying to read. I sabo you. Okay, Ziying, don't mind. It's okay, Pei Kun. Ziying?
At the same time, there is a set of processes called cultural differentialism. As I have already stated, the Western culture impacts other ones, resulting in the clash of interests, customs, and traditions.
Please write down this one. This one is, don't write the Western culture, but you can put that impacts. This really, after the clash of interest and culture and tradition, it create war. It create terrorism. It create dispute. It create 3R, riots, revolutions, and raids. RAIDS. Okay, carry on.
It could also be one of the central causes for international interregional conflicts, triggered by radical differences in mentalities and worldviews. I think that these disputes mainly appear due to the fear of absorption or disappearance of one culture under the impact of another. However, the further cooperation and enhanced understanding might help to reduce the number of these conflicts.
Sad to say, thank you. Sad to say, I use the word sad to say is that people only 纸上谈兵, talk on the paper, show, but do they really take the actions? Are they proactive enough to go the extra mile and say, look, guys, I think we have to segregate, we have to respect people's cultures, respect people's values and traditional? Sad to say that some people, because of 他们自己的利益, their own interests, their own gains, they don't care. For example, if you are Ziying, you're taking geography, right? Chinese literature. Social study.
English literature.
Sorry?
English literature.
Oh my goodness. Social study and English literature. Yes? You take social study and what is the other subject? The elective? English literature.
Literature elective and economics for core.
Sorry, it's a bit lagging. Sorry, can you say one more time? Take social study.
Literature for elect and economics for core.
For economics, you're taking economics. You're IP student, is it? No. Are you IP or Express?
Express.
Express got economics. Huh? Oh, something new. Okay, I thought only for A levels. Okay, so you okay? Oh, English literature. Which Shakespeare books are you doing? You don't do Shakespeare.
Not doing Shakespeare for elect.
Ayo, what a waste! I love Shakespeare so much, except Romeo and Juliet. I think you love Shakespeare. I think you love literature because you like to read all this. I'm a literature person. Okay, I love literature, except Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, I'm just sharing with you. If you are doing geography, you should understand that sometimes these ancestor tombstone or ancestor whatever things they have, or their sacred place, they have to take away because they have to build manufacturing plants or come up industrial buildings or a shopping center. As a result, will cause conflict. That is what it means here. Okay, carry on. Next one. Xing Chen, can you finish up for us, please? Last paragraph. Although altogether.
Altogether, I believe that globalization is an integral element of the modern society, and it cultivates the appearance of new forms of cultural discourse. These processes shape our mentalities and promote enhanced mutual understanding and cooperation at different levels. In this regard, it becomes an essential element of the era of open borders and cultural exchange. Globalization also serves as one of the most efficient ways to stimulate the further evolution of human thought or create new forms of art.
You will never write this in your O-level SRQ, but I'm showing you that whatever you're learning now is in real life. In one day, you're in a university, you're doing social study or social science or political science or whatever, sociology, you will come across this how you write. Okay, Ziying and Pei Kun. Okay, this is not just end here, O-level. It's just like whatever you learn to your math, science, or all subjects. Okay, you will really imply, apply, and supply in real life. So this is what it meant by conclusion, that globalization is inevitably going to be here, going to stay, as long as the technologies is the main things to drive to kind of become a global village together. But because of the expense of a lot of things that people cannot catch up, or country cannot catch up, whatever reason of scammer, that is where the last topic of this social study is the cyber security and cyber attack. This is why you can have a beautiful house, but you did not install a security alarm or a watchdog or security guard, or with a police force security around the neighborhoods. It's as good as that your properties are being stolen. As a result, what happened? Pay the full and is back to backfire. So what you mentioned here is globalizations is an integral part in your life. You cannot avoid it. But so how are you going to provide it to make it more ready? To make it more peaceful, more productive, more progressive, and yet the best thing is perform for the best for everybody, for all the people. Progressive, productive, peaceful. Agree not, Zixing? Right. So if this is where this topic is just talking about, this essay is talking about how this the H&H short form, urbanization and hybridization, the H&H and differentialism can help to change and shape the world. This I will copy this and put it on lesson 10. I think it should be lesson 10 next week. Yeah, that will be in March already. March, I will be changing a new topics. There will be no more this topic. But since we still got a bit of time, I do not want to bring it on. Don't mind Ziying. Usually we don't stop on time one. Okay, so let's share. Xiaoxing, will you start first? Then after that, the next page, who will talk? Oh, that's very short. Okay, either you can say halfway through, you can ask Xingchen to read. Yeah, carry on, Xiaoxing and Xingchen. Who want to read first?
I'll go first. So for cultural, we'll be talking about hybridization and homogenization. Firstly, for homogenization of food, like a lot of people would choose Starbucks over local alternatives. For example, like teenagers prefer Starbucks because they see it as like so-called more prestigious than like a coffee shop brand. Then in hybridization, like certain food items in the menu has been altered to fit the taste of the locals. For example, if you go to China, the KFC, McDonald's, they would sell you like burgers that contain pork, yeah, and like really spicy food. These kind that's not really sold in the international menus. And also in China, the Starbucks you can find a lot of like teas like 红茶、绿茶这样, all these that you don't really find elsewhere lah. Then in language homogenization, some countries will adopt English as their main language, so they would.
Sorry, I think we can change it instead of main language. Because like in China, their main language is 普通话, right? Xiaoxing. I would rather use it to change into a common language. A common language where that is easy to communicate, for example, with the foreigners. Carry on.
Then for hybridization, Singapore has hybridization where we use Singlish, a mixture of the Chinese, Malay, Tamil, and Chinese dialects. This is serves as a common language among the locals here, giving us a way to communicate with one another easier. Then in music, hybridization is where the influence of Western music, like American music in the 19th century was described as the Great American Melting Pot, saying that they are taking parts of a lot of music. For example, all the European music having like combined with the local Native American music to create different types of genres such as blues, jazz, all these. So this shows that there are hybridization. Xing Chen.
Xing Chen will be the music, right? Is it this part? Is it this part? Xiao Xing, correct, right?
The how it affects Singapore.
Yeah.
Singapore does not encourage the use of pork or beef in fast food, since the Muslim and Buddhist community is unable to eat those foods. McDonald's in Singapore also released a Nasi Lemak burger to celebrate Hari Raya Puasa. English is important since Singapore is a travel hub, so a universal language is important for Singapore to for citizens of Singapore to be able to understand instructions and directions and also understand each other. And there are also the other four main languages, other main languages.
It reminds me of this what I want to say about Muslim and Buddhist community. I just suddenly lost my train of thought, sorry. Okay, so this is culture, right? We're talking about cultures that influence the impact of people in Singapore. And yeah, because we are a very diversified society, that we need to have a different blends, different model to suit different race and religions, so that we can cater to everybody's needs, so that we do not offend anybody, and make sure everyone is, in Chinese, 一视同仁，听过吗？一视同仁, that means equality to everybody, make sure that everyone have a stake for all, opportunity for everyone. Remember, a stake for all and opportunity for everyone under the LARA. Okay, LARA stand for L stand for leadership is key. A stand for anticipate change and stay relevant. R stand for reward for works. Work for reward is called meritocracy. And A is a stake for all and opportunity for everyone. That is the LARA for Singapore, and which is hopefully with all other countries as well. But it's not very possible. Not many countries in the world can really follow the Singapore models like that, because we do not have our own original roots of culture. So all is because our forefathers come from different parts of the world. All right. Thank you for that. So last but not least, Yang Xiang just told me that he just finished his taekwondo. So it'll be a bit late. You watch the video, Jialing. So Jialing, sorry, Jialing. Next week you got his number, right? You can contact him, then and show to the class. Okay, Team C. Team C. I think Zhao Xuan can't talk. So Bei Kun, you have to talk really. Are you okay to talk? Can let's go. Wow, remind me of carrot cake. So Bei Kun and Zhao Xuan talk about food, right? Correct? Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so carrot cake, so it's also called chai tao kueh, and it's a common dish or dim sum of Teochew cuisine in Chaoshan, which originated in Chaoshan, China. It's also popular in Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, and Vietnam, consisting of stir-fried cubes of radish cake. Okay, and then after that, there's also another example of rice burger, which is a combination of Japanese sushi and American burger, which is like being sold at Moss Burger. And there's also chili crab ice cream, which is very weird, which is like from Singapore chili crab and Italian ice cream. Okay, so carrot cake is a typical dish from Singapore. It's liked by many Singaporeans and will buy them for lunch, dinner, or like my grandfather for breakfast also.
Yeah, I just have it this morning. Black and white, right? 黑的菜头粿还是白的菜头粿 right？ 子英你没有吃过啊？你没有吃过菜头粿啊？萝卜糕炒的。 啊，你住新加坡这么多年，你没有吃啊？你没有吃过拉萨？哦嘿，你有没有吃过米线 Miro Boss？有没有？有没有吃过米线 Miro Boss 啊？Seriously，你吃过 prata 吗？哦嘿啊嘿啊，OK OK OK OK，你还是正宗的新加坡人。OK，these are all the local。海南鸡饭有吃吗？海南鸡饭，新加坡海南鸡。OK OK OK，so confirm you're Singaporean。OK OK carry on， very good。
Okay, so and like in hawker centers, they can sell in almost like the hawker centers, almost every hawker center has carrot cake.
Yeah, it's true. You are absolutely agree with you. It's like become 家喻户晓, oh. Everywhere you can find this. Wow, can you imagine, Bacon, if we all learn Cai Tao Gui and then bring it to US? Wow, 闻名其世, the whole world, man. Carry on. 打倒 McDonald's.
So the rice burger is a hybrid of Japanese sushi and American burger. It's a new kind of burger loved by many people in Singapore. The creativities of the producer has captured the attention and the taste bud of many people. The rice burger, which can be found in Moss Burger, has been doing great as it sells, as many people have loved this hybrid dish. And after that is chili crab ice cream. It's a hybrid of Singapore's chili crab and China's ice cream. So on top, the Italian ice cream is actually wrong. And it's a dessert that some people may like, but will not eat on daily basis as crab are expensive, and some may not prefer the combined taste of spicy and sweetness.
Some maybe allergy to seafood.
Yeah.
Oh, they're allergic to seafood, they cannot eat that. Yeah, true.
I would love to wait.
Sorry. My mouse, sorry.
I would choose the rice burger as of today. Singapore's food love for burgers and sushi has been increasing this day due to the Western influence and also the Japanese influence. So it would be a smart move to combine sushi and burgers together to create this delicious food that Singaporeans will definitely love. And it's actually like they put the bread and replace them with a big clump of rice. And people that love the burger and sushi will buy it often, as this will definitely allow us to unlock money.
Yep, thank you. Okay, you realize that these topics actually give you the opportunity to become an entrepreneur, to start your own business. And maybe when you go to Poly, some of my students join Republic Poly for doing culinary, how to 煮饭, right? And some even do business, entrepreneur business. There are different courses. So you realize this, one day you might come out something that is very hybrid, maybe not food, it can be other things that we can marketable and sell like hotcakes. And this is really something that is different from the traditional way of doing business, with technology, with hybrid, with new ideas, with creative ideas, with blends of the Eastern and Western. I got these topics that I asked my student. Do you agree that, one more time. Western medicines and Eastern medicines, which one do you think is better? Chelsea?
Like
I will choose Eastern.
Yeah, I'll choose Eastern, even though I feel that Western is more based in science.
所谓 Western 治标不治本. Okay, so this is where you come in to do, okay, you have to do your comparison reliability skills. Western medicine has been using technology, like the drugs. Well, Eastern's, the first person I know in Eastern, I can think of is the Asians medicine, which is the Malay, the Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Taiwans, the Korean ginseng, and the Indonesians and so forth, and Thai medicine. The first thing I think of is Hua Tuo. Anyone know who is Hua Tuo? You know who is Hua Tuo? 子怡。如果你看《三国演义》，你就懂谁是华佗。And one of the best thing is called acupuncture, right? 针灸 acupuncture. And Chinese medicines or Eastern medicine has been thousands of years. True enough. They've been lasting until thousands of years. And the one very good example to prove is the recent COVID-19. What the Chinese has come up with the medicines to cure COVID-19. So people say, don't trust. So I still believe in Eastern medicine, but Eastern medicine is something that it takes a longer time to heal. Agree, Chelsea? Bacon, you agree, right? Jialing, you agree also, right? 所以中药是慢性，西药是很快，可是 but you only don't go to the roots. So 中药是慢慢的调整。So you see, that's where 为什么新加坡有 Eastern medicine and Western medicine? Now you understand? It takes a while. All this is through learning like social study. The skills that you learn is still much better. The comparison skill. You don't go and tell, do you study AMAX? You don't go and tell the roti prata, uncle, I want dy dx. I want sine cosine tangent. I want the alkaline and acid. I want the chemistry equation, the Tuacaso, or I want the physics. You tell you, hey, hello, day, you want 8 or kosong la day. You say, uncle, today you look so handsome, your food very nice. Girl, I give you one extra plata for you. You're so sweet. Correct now? Comparison skill, reliability skill. Joke aside, seriously, the choice, you are a literature student, you should know, right? Literature talk about emotionals, the passions, talk about the 7 different deadly sins, 7 good things. Literature talk about how the perspective of human natures transform into different types of analysis of way of talking, a way of presentations. You see, you can have A1's maths and science, but you have F9 of attitude in ways of human communications, you feel. So thank you for Qiao Xing Group and Pei Kun. So Jialing, I'll wait for you and Yang Xiang to come back, to be fair to you. So Yang Xiang, if you are watching the video, next week you and Jialing have to present. So next month is a brand new topic. I can't remember, I really set the topic already, but I can't remember. So get prepared. And you guys owe me the page 320 and 319, that hybrid and harmonization homework. So you have to hand it to me and put it in the Google Classroom for me to mark, and then we go through. Now, guys, if you don't go through all this homework with SRQ and SPQ, good luck to you. All right. So next month, maybe I'm going to go through the skill set. That's all for today's